Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Well, I just pulled up here on the end, unloading the hopper. There it is going down the back. But just talked to my dad on the radio. We're going to run up north to the grain bins, and got to get the tractor put on the auger and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to try and bring you along with me. So I'll bring you back when we get up there to the grain bins. Okay, I just got up here. PTO. I'm up on top of the bin, getting it opened up. There we go. I don't want to drop the GoPro down there. Get this button spout drop down. There we go. Okay, getting the truck dumped. So far, corn's still testing pretty dry, running right around 14.5%, so we're putting it straight in the bin. That makes it nice. Well, we just got the tandem here unloaded, and Dad and our landlord, they're heading back down, so I'll let them go ahead of me, then we'll head back down here to the field. One thing for sure, this old truck rides rough as a cob. Bounce you around in the seat, that's for sure. Okay, just got back down here to the field. I'm going to take off picking again, and cart driver's walking over there, and he'll hop in the cart and dump it. And in fact, right now we got enough on that cart to, I think, probably fill the truck right back up again. So that didn't take too long. Alright guys, well, you saw me getting out of the tandem there, and this here is actually the next day. Just so you know, I'll be jumping in and out here between voiceover and music on the drone videos, so stick around, because like I say, I'll be hopping back and forth chatting with you. But this field here that I'm in now is actually the second to the last field. And it's about 38 to 40 acres. You see that drainage ditch there, and we've got CRP strips on each side of that. And then you look right there across the ditch, that right there is the last field that will be part of this video as well. And so we'll be going to that once we get done with this one that I'm in. But this field here, it runs north and south, and it's right out a half a mile long. It's got those are our long rows, and it's got a little patch of woods down there on the right side of your screen there on the corner. It's just a big old sand knob. But unlike most sand hills where it just kind of gradually goes up, that one, it goes up rapidly, and so it's pretty steep on the field side there. Then on the back side of it, you got an intersection. You got a road on the and a road on the south side, and then the field on the north side. But yeah, you saw the ditch there, how low the water level is, and here about a week ago, we got about an inch of rain, and we're so dry the ground just literally soaked that up like it was nothing. It's basically just a drop in the bucket. And so, yeah, like I say, figure I'd just give you a little background. There's a little bit of water in that ditch. It basically just stands there and turns green. Doesn't really flow a whole lot. And so, all right, there's the cart getting dumped into the semi. I do like to take and chop these areas where we're going to be working at there in that CRP. So that's all chopped down. Okay, there you see Dad taking off with the tandem. Saw that big box truck rolling by on the highway. And then here in a little bit, the grain cart will be coming along catching me. The next day, And just getting ready to get started here on the last field of corn for 2025. I'm down here at the west end, and it's this big L-shaped field, 120 acres, so it goes east, and, well, take that back. Not exactly 120 acres, because we did have rye clear up at that corner by the next road, as that cut down a little bit, but it's like in a big L shape, so it goes down and then goes south over to the highway. So I'm gonna get started here. I'll sit you up on that little mount right there, that way you can watch for a couple seconds. right, well here we are on these long rows here on the last field. And you can see here, not very many left, but I wanted to get the drone up that way can give you kind of a little bit of an overhead perspective. These rows here are actually over 3/4 of a mile long. I guess 3/4 of a mile is going to be what, 0.75. And these rows run longer than that, and so I'm guessing you're probably looking at probably about maybe about 8.5 of a mile long. And if the drainage ditch, which you saw there at the beginning when we were in the second to the last field, if that ditch actually was not there, these rows actually would be 1 full mile going from one road to the other. And so I think I take the drone up here and kind of do some panning back and forth, that way you can see it. There's a grain cart running on up there, and so he'd run on up ahead and then wait for me until I got there. Okay, there's looking east, and you see that road. There's kind of panning around back to the west. There I am coming down across there, and okay, there we go. You can see that kind of like that little greenish line. That's the drainage ditch down there. And so yeah, these rows are long. But you'll notice though, those where I had to take and cut those rows off, there's actually a property line right there. And so my cousin, he owns, the whole farm is actually 320 acres. It's what's called a half section. It's a big rectangle. It's a half a mile wide and 1 mile long. And so my cousin, he owns 80 acres on the west side, and then my dad owns all the rest on the east side. And so it's 3/4, 1/4. But so yeah, it kind of gives you a little bit of perspective there as for those long rows going down across there. And so the cart would catch me when I was heading west, because what I would do is I would skip over 32 rows and then cut through for the 8-row head. And then I would just go round and round. And so for example, I would go like I am right now, heading east. And then to come back west, I would jump over and come back through heading west. And so that way my unload auger was always toward the inside, so that the cart could catch me either going west or east. And that way my unload auger on the combine was always on the inside part of a land, basically, about like plowing ground with a moldboard plow. And so yeah, that can give you some perspective. And this field here, these corn stalks, and then also right there to the left, that bean stubble, which we actually had a bunch of hog crap pumped on that, will all be no-till beans and corn this coming next year in 2026. Okay, there's a grain cart coming up. And because we actually run the whole farm no-till, because it's got a lot of muck in it. In fact, back years ago, an old neighbor man that used to live actually right across the road from this farm, right there across the highway from this field, him and his family moved up in this area. I think it was back in the 1940s. He passed away back in 2008, but he told my dad that when they moved up in this area from Southern Illinois, that an old guy at that time told him that he used to catch catfish there right across the highway from this field. And so that whole area was a drained swamp. And the old man, he told my dad, his name was Lloyd, that it was his understanding that they actually brought in a floating drag line, I guess, and dug that drainage ditch that you saw there that we had the CRP on. Now the ditch here beside where you see my dad heading out with the Allis Chalmers 8070 and the two big green wagons, I have no idea when that was dug, but it was probably long after that. But now this part of the field does not have near so much muck and or peat in it. But yeah, like I say, you get on out across there. You can definitely tell the areas where that was underwater. And so kind of odd for that old guy way back there, probably, I'm guessing, late 1800s, catching catfish. And so, yeah, so like I say, it's got a lot of muck / peat, and but that's only about a foot to maybe a foot and a half thick on top. And then you get down below that, it's actually a lot of white and gray sand. And so if we can get plenty of rain, you can grow a good crop. But when it gets dry, that kind of soil texture does not hold water. It allows the water to leach away pretty quickly. And so yeah, that's just a little overhead perspective and a little bit of background. I think that's kind of neat. So I just thought I'd jump on here with the drone and footage and do a little voiceover and share it with you. So there's Dad pulling out on the field, heading up the farm to unload the big green wagons. Well, guys, you saw me rolling there. I turning out there on the end and heading back to the field. Now we're coming down here, got 8 rows left, and that'll be it for corn 2025. I got my drone in the air. There's the controller. So I'll get some inside cab view, drone video, and then Dad's gonna be down there. All he's got is videoing also. So we'll see what happens here. Alrighty, guys, we're coming down on it. Unloading on the go. And that's got it. Corn 2025 is done. Alright, guys, I'm going to call this and end the video. That's got the corn for this year all wrapped up and good to go. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.